In February 2026, the American housing market is defined by a paradox. While national mortgage rates have stabilized near 6.3%, several refuge markets have reached a critical breaking point. The mortgage lock, or lock-in effect, occurs when homeowners with pandemic-era rates of 2.5% to 3.5% refuse to sell, knowing that moving would nearly double their interest costs, a financial penalty that remains the defining force of the decade. In high-demand, low-inventory hubs, this has resulted in an inventory apocalypse, where active listings in some cities remain 60% to 74% below pre-pandemic levels. Here are 5 cities where the 2026 mortgage lock has effectively frozen the market. 1. Hartford, Connecticut. The reality: Hartford has officially claimed the title of the hottest and tightest market in America for 2026. According to Zillow and Realtor.com research, Hartford has the largest inventory shortfall in the country, with active listings still down a staggering 63% compared to pre-pandemic averages. The mortgage lock is particularly severe here because while the local payment jump for homeowners moving to a new property is roughly 56%, significantly lower than the 73% national jump, the supply simply cannot keep up with the massive influx of refuge buyers fleeing the astronomical costs of New York and Boston. In 2026, over 66% of homes in Hartford are selling above list price, the highest rate among major metros. Competition is so fierce that the typical home stays on market for just about 11 days, meaning that for the average local worker, the inventory of move-in ready starter homes has effectively hit zero. This velocity creates a frozen sensation where the few homes that do hit the market vanish before a sign can even be planted in the yard. Zillow predicts Hartford will be the nation's #1 market for price growth, following a 4.3% appreciation in 2025, with another 4% climb expected this year. 2. Rochester, New York. The reality: Rochester is struggling with a chronic inventory crisis that has only deepened in early 2026. Active listings have recently plummeted by nearly 20% year-over-year, with the median days on market dropping to a razor-thin 11 to 15 days. The mortgage lock here is driven by a critical lack of new construction. New builds in Rochester typically carry a massive price premium, leaving owners of older homes with no affordable trade-up options. This has created a fortress effect, where families are staying in starter homes for twice as long as they did a decade ago. In early 2026, nearly 79% of sales in Rochester occur over the asking price, fueled by out-of-market investors who see the city's median price of $224,940 as an absolute bargain. For a local first-time buyer, the for sale sign has become an endangered species in stable middle-class neighborhoods like Brighton. While Realtor.com projects a 10.3% price jump for Rochester in 2026, the lack of inventory means that for many, the city is effectively sold out. It currently ranks as the top city for first-time buyers based on affordability, yet that title remains theoretical for those who cannot find a single active listing to tour. 3. Worcester, Massachusetts. The reality: Worcester is facing a dual crisis in 2026. It is a secondary city, absorbing the overflow from Boston, yet its local inventory remains roughly 60% below pre-pandemic norms. The lock-in effect is particularly brutal here because homeowners are clinging to their sub-4% rates with a death grip, resulting in a 1.8-month supply of homes, far below the 6 months needed for a balanced market. Worcester is predicted to see 12.6% home sale growth and a 2.4% price appreciation in 2026, making it the third hottest housing market in the nation. With average home values nearing $450,000, the entry point for first-time buyers has moved out of reach as inventory stays critically tight. The mortgage lock has transformed this former industrial hub into a high barrier-to-entry zone, where homes receive an average of 3 offers and 0 homes for sale, is a common reality in the $350,000 to $400,000 price bracket. The market is so competitive that properties stay listed for only 24 days on average, and the city's urban revitalization projects are drawing even more wealth effect, buyers who bypass the mortgage market altogether with all-cash offers, further locking out the local workforce. 4. Toledo, Ohio. The reality. Toledo represents the Midwest deadlock of 2026. While it is one of the most affordable cities in the country, with typical home values around $139,900, the market is frozen in amber. The mortgage lock is so tight here that Toledo is projected to lead the nation in price growth, 13.1%, specifically because so few people are willing to sell while demand for its high-value stock explodes. Homeowners face a payment jump that is mathematically smaller, approximate 33%, than in coastal cities, yet they still choose to stay put due to a lack of available next-step homes. This has created a low-volume loop. Buyers cannot find homes, so they do not list their own, ensuring that the supply remains at near-zero levels. With only 1.5 months of housing supply available, Toledo remains firmly in a seller's market. For those looking for a bargain, Toledo is a primary target, but the lack of listings means most deals never hit the public market, instead being sold through private networks or snatched up by institutional capital. The city is shifting from an affordable secret to a high-velocity battleground, where the few available homes are subject to intense bidding wars that push prices well above the national appreciation rate of 2.2%. 5. Providence, Rhode Island. The reality. Providence rounds out the 2026 zero inventory list as a victim of senior stagnation and remote work migration. Zillow ranks it as a top 5 hottest real estate market for 2026, with forecasted home value growth of 4.1% as it attracts professionals from higher-priced hubs like New York and D.C. The lock-in effect here is compounded by a high concentration of older residents who have paid off their mortgages or hold 3% notes and have zero incentive to move into a 6.3% environment. This leaves large family homes occupied by single individuals or aging-in-place couples, while young families find a critical 1.7-month supply of available listings. In 2026, sales volume has remained essentially flat as the lock-in continues to limit turnover. Buying in Providence today requires lottery-level luck for any house priced under the city median of $418,040, as the inventory remains stuck in a deep pandemic-era deficit that keeps the supply of single-family homes at historic, near-zero lows. Even with recent tax changes like the Taylor Swift tax, targeting luxury properties, the middle market remains a desert, forcing residents to look further into the Massachusetts border to find any viable housing options. The 2026 mortgage lock is more than a high interest rate problem. It is a structural freeze of the American ladder of mobility.